Hello, Fear the Meerkat here. Welcome to another episode of my Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Masterclass Let's Play. This is quite a grim sight. These sculptures here. Turns out that you can shoot them with an arrow from the front or the back, and it still kills them even when they're facing you. See, I personally find that quite an ugly sight. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't bother everyone. The sound they make as well is quite impressive, I think. And unpleasant. Well, certainly the sound the gold sculpture makes. According to the strategy guide, there's supposed to be one that you can only see with the lens of truth, but that doesn't appear to be the case, as you can see. So, anyway, no point in killing that one if you can get this, which is the real prize. This is going to be quite a long episode because I wanted to completely finish this temple and not stretch this into 4 episodes inside this temple. I think this is number 3. Yes, you do need to go back in time now and become a child again in order to get a key. You may remember that we caused the chest to drop down into an area that we could only go in as a child by using the Megaton hammer to hit a rusty switch. Now is the time to go back and get that if you're playing along with this. It's annoying because it does take a long time. Much longer than I've made it seem there, because I've got some stuff out. So, I might as well talk about my channel update, which I know none of you have seen yet, because I have a count of how many people watched it. Anyway, I don't really blame you that much for not seeing it. Some people don't like channel updates, they don't find them interesting. So, I'll summarise it here. I feel it is important to watch the entire thing because there are some details, there's a more detailed explanation on it about why I'm doing this, but I am going to be talking in this episode about what's going to be happening in my channel in the future, and it is very relevant to Legend of Zelda. For the moment, it's probably a good idea, since I don't have any fairies in jars, to get some here. It's actually quite hard to grab the fairies that come out of here using jars, because it's a pool, which means at the edges you're not swimming, but in the middle you are, so there's kind of a cut-off point where you automatically start swimming, and at that point you're not able to use the bottle. Don't be fooled into thinking that you've just collected water when it seems to collect something. The thing it's collected is always fairy. If it hasn't collected anything, then that means it's just collected water or empty air. Do you see what I mean? Like that. It's collected something and therefore has collected a fairy. And then once you've gone and gotten the key, you need to go back as an adult and use it. Anyway, and the stupid bird comes and attacks you whilst you're standing near this pool, and it's very annoying. You just have to try to avoid it. My commentary might not be quite as wonderful as it normally is, because I'm doing it without rehearsing, and the main reason I wanted to do that, I just sort of felt, well, to put it simply, this is going to be the last Legend of Zelda episode for a while. That's what I had to say. To simplify the channel update, that's what I had to say. I will be finishing the Star Trek Let's Play, and I will be starting a new Let's Play, which will be blind and will be live commentary very soon. I know this episode has come out late. It's taken me a while to record this because of the length. But yeah, this is going to be the last one, because I did this partly due to it being fun to record these, and it's no longer fun to record these Legend of Zelda episodes. Even once I finished the Shadow Temple, there's still some side quests to do, there's still getting the big Goron sword to do, there's still the Gerudo training grounds to do, there's still fighting Ganon left to do, there's still actually reaching him in his castle left to do, and considering the rate that I'm going at with when these videos are released, it's just not worth it to me when I'm not enjoying them anymore. So I am taking a break, and in a few months I will probably feel like recording Legend of Zelda again, or maybe I will record it more. I will record it, but I will record episodes less frequently. I don't know. In the meantime, my new Let's Play will be going on, and it's not going to take months and months for me to finish it, because I will be doing live commentary, which, as I've learned from the Star Trek Let's Plays, speeds up the process of recording a lot. If it wasn't for the fact that I record a Star Trek episode, then one of these, then a Star Trek episode, then one of these, I would be uploading a Star Trek episode once every 2 or 3 days, instead of these taking at minimum 5 days, and normally more than that, because it's just so much quicker to not have to record sound separately in the way I have to do here. Anyway, because this is going to be the last episode for a while, I decided I'm just going to do the commentary live and just say whatever I have to say without rehearsing it, and I don't know. We'll see what sort of mood I'm put in by the fact that this is the last episode for a while. I'm feeling quite reflective at the moment about it, so you do need to get all of those silver rupees, and in order to do that you do need to climb up, and climbing up is the only way to get up there anyway. It would be nice if you could do it by using hookshot, but you can't. I don't know if you can do it by using the hookshot in the normal version of this game, but you certainly can't in the Master Quest. Now if you move from onto one of these moving things whilst it's moving, then you'll fall off. If you move too far over to the sides, you will fall off. If you hit the spikes, you'll hit the spikes, and so you need to avoid doing that. And obviously if one of these things hits you, you will fall off. So it's a good idea to not make the mistake I did, and to actually kill all of the geese before they hit you. Unfortunately, you can't really Z-target them if they're too high up, which is annoying, which is why it took me a while to start to attack them. But attacking them is necessary, so yes, you just need to have a decent aim. It's actually surprisingly hard to get yourself into the right place to grab these things whilst the thing you're clinging onto is moving. There are a couple of places here and at the very top and at the very bottom, I think, where they don't move, but most of them move, and I've cut out the bits here where I've fallen down. Not that you absolutely need to know that, but you might just be wondering why it looks weird, so that's why. It turns out that you can actually hit these with your sword as an adult, although I didn't quite realise that at this point. So there's another one of these episodes where I got stuck for a long time while I was recording and couldn't work out what to do. These skulls in the wall, well, they look quite like skulls. They're quite unnerving, I guess, but they're interesting. These things that look like faces, they're, I suppose, an interesting feature. I just thought I'd point them out. So, what do we do when there's a Triforce symbol on the floor? I suppose I've sort of learnt things over the last year about Let's Plays. I've learnt how important it is to rehearse the commentary and just smaller things like that, I guess. But one of the big things I think that I've learnt is that I'm not actually good at doing post commentary that's being recorded after recording the footage of myself playing. I'm not good at that because it makes me record episodes very slowly. Originally my decision was I did my first Let's Play, my Crash Bandicoot racing game Let's Play with live commentary, and I wasn't very good at that. Also have no idea how you're supposed to know that there's a switch under that box, because many crates do not have switches underneath them. So it's not like every room with a crate in it has a switch in it. Obviously we need to set this thing up so that some light will be shining on that sun. Now don't worry about this giant green event 7-fold here. You can just hit it with your shield like you did with the others, and that will get rid of the glowing green thing around it, and then you can just attack it with your sword. One of the really cool things about Majora's Mask, as opposed to this, is that you can sometimes just kill enemies by shining light onto them. You can only do it once you've got the mirror shield, of course, which you obtain quite late during the game, but it is a very cool thing you can do. these ones are wearing armor as well. I don't know why, and I wasn't very good in this fight. I think I was feeling a little overwhelmed by the number of enemies in this section. Anyway, my original idea for doing live commentary was for the racing game, and because I was having to concentrate on racing all the time, and because I was my first Let's Play and I didn't know anything about them, my live commentary wasn't very good. But with the Star Trek commentary, live commentary, I've discovered that I'm actually okay at doing live commentary. Okay, there are no battles in that, but you're in a sort of constant battle if you're racing, if you see what I mean. This, I know I keep interrupting myself, it's terrible. This you need to do really quickly, because otherwise fire comes and surrounds one of these snakes with a mirror in it. So you need to move them into the right position, but you need to do it very quickly after you've made the sun come alive and open its eyes. And if that fire is surrounding it, that doesn't matter where it's pointing, I don't think. I think you need them both to be pointing in the right place before it turns on fire, because otherwise you just get burnt. The sound gets a bit echoey here. I still haven't managed to solve that. It's a possibility that if I record part of an episode, then stop, and then record another part and graft the two videos together, that might be what causes it, and I had to do that several times here. I'm not sure. There were big problems with this recording because my computer crashed part way through recording it. So it's very annoying. Well, at first the game wouldn't save properly, and then I tried to look up the strategy guide, but I couldn't open my word processor program, and then the computer crashed. You need quite precise aiming to do this here, and it is rather difficult to avoid the War Master. Have to sort of walk around it, I think. But yeah, I started doing a post commentary on this because of the Crash Bandicoot game, and then I found out that just takes ages and is a bit unnecessary. So hopefully I will be able to handle battles and talking at the same time, and even if I can't, I intend to do my next Let's Play with live commentary so that it doesn't take months. I love the music for the two witches. I love the sound effects as well of their laughter. The sound effects of their laughter, they even have laughter at a slightly different pitch to each other. I think these two make a great boss. You'll see them as an actual boss soon, and they're just fantastic at it. So this is clearly a quite different looking Iron Knuckle here, And it does beg the question, in my opinion, were all of the iron knuckles designed by those two witches? Or was it just this one? Actually recorded the final boss battle as well as a separate recording, so maybe when that happens the echo will be worse, or maybe the echo will stop. I don't know. We'll just have to see. And hopefully I can work out what's causing these sound problems before I record another anything. Yeah, I didn't do very well at jumping out of the way here, I have to say. Not as well as I did against the previous Iron Knuckle. I don't know if this one is harder. And here's another interesting question. Were all of the Iron Knuckles previously humans? As you can see, it's the Gerudo leader who we're supposed to help out by giving her the silver gauntlets. I don't know where they've made her disappear to. Maybe somewhere for her to have Iron Knuckle armor refitted. Anyway, yeah, it's possible that all the Iron Knuckles were once people who were captured and brainwashed. Okay, the sound does seem to have fixed itself. That's good. Okay, this boss fight can be tricky, but it's a lot of fun as well. And I love it when a boss fight is fun, even if it's also very hard. The boss fights that aren't fun and aren't hard, that aren't fun and are hard, that really annoy me. Alright, peg those tents into their hair, I guess it is. Basically, they will fire at you. They will either shoot fire at you or shoot ice at you. The fire burns you, the ice freezes you for a little while and also takes your energy away. You need to deflect their attacks, but if you deflect fire to the one that has fiery hair, that doesn't do anything. So you need to deflect ice at the fiery haired one and fire at the icy haired one. And you also need surprisingly good aim with the mirror shield for this. Apparently these two are collectively known as Twin Rover. I don't know why, because they're twins, I guess. They could have called this the Twin Temple as well, actually, come to think of it. I really think they gave it a pointless name, but I already discussed that a couple of episodes ago, so... many weeks ago. And sometimes you're not at the right height to get them. I do tend to find that it's useful for you to be quite close to them, though that's helpful for aiming. It's also a bad idea to have them Z-targeted at this point, because you need to keep an eye on where both of them are in order to aim. I like them in this form as well. I love the fact that she winks at you. That is so cool. She seems to be younger in this form as well. Alright, this can be a bit complicated. Sometimes when she fires at you, a fire spreads out from you and covers everything. And when that happens, you just need to run to the edge and basically avoid the fire that's covering the area. Same thing with the ice. Sometimes the ice just covers it. However, sometimes your shield seems to absorb the energy, and when that happens, you need to keep on absorbing it until she's fired 3 times. Now, sometimes she doesn't necessarily fire that 3 times in a row. Sometimes she'll, for example, fire it twice that way, and then once in the way where it spreads out and covers everything. And if it does that, don't let yourself get hurt by it. And letting yourself get hurt by also restarts the counter on your shield of how many times your shield has absorbed the energy. And the energy, as far as I can tell, automatically fires at her if you're close enough and you've built up enough of it. I don't think you need to press anything. If you do, then the thing you need to press is just the button to raise your shield up. I don't quite remember whether I did that or not. As you can see, I'm showing off the sort of edited highlights here, showing you the freezing thing and showing you the thing that happens when your shield gathers energy. But I have cut bits of this out. Now, when you eventually get her to fall on the floor, because she's absorbed enough energy, had enough of her energy fired at her, you then need to jump onto the platform she's on. It's usually the one straight in front of you, and then go and slash her with your sword, and get her as many times as you can with your sword. If you Z-targeted her, quickly un-Z-target her again, because the Z-targeting will make it harder for you to jump. This battle took a lot longer than I'm making it appear here. Anyway, this should take you 3 or 4 tries, depending on how many times you manage to slash her with your sword. This is pretty large as well once she's in this double form. Anyway, eventually that happens to her. With this and Majora's Mask, which both use the same engine, they both seem to have the same sort of ending with the bosses. For example, these two argue with each other now, and you might remember that the two sort of skeleton kings you fight in the Kana Valley, which is a boss fight, also argue with each other, and it comes about at roughly the same point in time in the game as this. I love this conversation, it's too hilarious. noise of talking. It's quite irritated though. I probably found it funnier the first time I saw it, to be fair, but yeah, it's quite funny. And she does come back in Majora's Mask, so there you go. I think I accidentally forgot to get the heart. Here, I couldn't see it. Perhaps there isn't one here. I don't know. I'd imagine there is, but... So yeah, in a couple of minutes we're gonna have finished the last episode for quite a while. It's been fun, and I will be coming back to this, but it's been a long time now, this Let's Play, and I do think that I brought it to a very good point to close, you know, the end of the temple. Everything, and it just seems like the right time to have a break for a while, start something new. Well, I'll admit, I don't see why it's that strange, you know, it really could happen to anyone, but to be honest, I'd rather have the things he promised us, but if I have to have a big chunk of metal that's not a metaphor for anything, then so be it. Is it a startling coincidence? Again, one of the very few characters Link knows would turn out to be the spirit of this temple. Anyway, this is pretty much the end of this episode. I will see you in my new Let's Play.